Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa is currently addressing an International Women's Day event in the Free State. The celebration is under the theme, I Am Generation Equality. We're live there now.
For the women of the world, but also for the women of South Africa. International Women's Day is an opportunity for us as a nation to assess how far we have come in advancing gender equality across all spheres of society, and on what more needs to be done to give effect to the rights of women and girls worldwide. The empowerment of women, the achievement of equality between men and women is a task that has become global. And we here in South Africa as well, we are fortunate that we've had organizations, and we have organizations that have been agitating for the equality and empowerment of women in our own country. And we've had outstanding women leaders, born and bred here in South Africa, who have led the charge in their lifetime for the empowerment of women, but who also found it in their hearts to also participate in the struggle for freedom. The ANC Women's League is one of those organizations, and indeed many other organizations that have stood at the helm of empowering women and making sure that we move forward as a society to bring about equality between men and women. And we've had outstanding leaders like Mama Albertina Sisulu, Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, Lillian Ngoyi, Helen Joseph, Dorothy Nyembe, Gertrude Shope, and indeed many others have been at the helm of bringing about a deeper level of consciousness amongst us as South Africans, ho re ka nnete qetellong bo mme le bontate ho tsibiwe hore re a lekana. Bo mme le bona ba na le ditokelo tseno di tshwanetse hore ka nnete di hlomphiwe. This is also a time when we give recognition to women who have excelled in various spheres, many of whom are here with us today. We recognize that our peace, our stability and prosperity as a nation rests on our enduring commitment to the constitutionally guaranteed right to equality between men and women, between black and white, and indeed between all our citizens. This year we mark a number of milestones in the continental and global fight for gender justice. Firstly, it is the end of the Decade of African Women, which was declared in 2010 to 2020, whose purpose was to reinvigorate commitments to gender equality and women's empowerment. Secondly, it is the 20th anniversary of the adoption of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, that acknowledges the impact of armed conflict on women and girls and affirms the important role of women in the prevention and the resolution of conflicts, peace building, and post-conflict reconstruction. Thirdly, it is 25 years since 17,000 delegates representing 189 countries of the world met in the Chinese capital, Beijing, at the landmark 4th UN World Conference on Women. Among them was a delegation from South Africa, having held our first democratic elections just the year before. The adoption of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action changed the trajectory of the empowerment of women worldwide. The empowerment of women, gender equality, became a major project in all countries of the world. And it was at that time that we as South Africa signed both the Declaration and Platform for Action in the same year and committed to 5 yearly reviews of our progress in key areas such as women and education and training, gender-based violence, women's rights, women and the economy, and women in power and decision-making. In the same year, 1995, one of the first legislative acts of the first democratic parliament was to ratify the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. Sena sine se le sesupo sa hore mmuso wa rona wa mona South Africa o ikemiseditse ka nnete hore go tla ntshiwa melao kaofela e bontshang hore e tlisa go sa lekane hare ha basadi le banna. Ka hobane melao yeno e ne ntse e le teng, re ile ra kgona ka morao ha 1994 gore ntho ya pele e ne e etswa ke palamente ya rona e ne e le ena ya ho dumela hore melao eo e tlisang go fapana hare ha banna le basadi malokana le malokelo a bona e tla fediswa. As noted in our most recent 5-year report submitted to the UN last year, we as South Africa have made significant advances in improving the lives of our country's women in the social, political, economic spheres, particularly with regards to their rights and representation. Ho ne ho tlameile hore re ise report kwana United Nations e ne e tlameile hore bontshe hore se re fihlile ho kae na mabapi le yona nthwena ya hore ditokelo tsa banna le basadi di a hlomphiwa na, haholo-holo ditokelo tsa bomme. Re ile ra isa report eno ile ya kgona ho bontsha hore ka nnete re ntse re tswella pele, a re a ema sebakeng se le seng, ho na le ntho tse ngata tse ntse re di etsa tsa ho ntlafatsa maphelo a bomme lefatsheng lena la habo rona. We have implemented policies and programs to give practical expression to the rights of women and girls to education, to reproductive health care, to basic services and social support. Kana go ya ne khale ne re fumana hore ha o ya dikolong o fumana hore batho ba bangata dikolong ke bashanyana fela, basetsana ba ne ba balwa moo le moo. ka morao ha o fihla ha democracy lefatsheng lena la rona, mmuso wa rona o ile wa etsa sure hore bana ba banana ba kene dikolo, ba ye sekolong. Kasheko lena hohle mo re shebang teng re fumana hore ha re bala bana ba rona ba kenang dikolo, bongata ba bona ke basetsana. Re ka sheba dikolong tsa primary, re shebeng di high school, re shebeng di university, re shebeng le di college. Bongata ba bona ba kenang dikolo ke banana. Re a le leboha bomme le bontate hore le buletse bana ba lona ba banana hore ba kene dikolo, ba fumane thuto. Re a le leboha hona mono, ke yona ntho e ntle e etsahalang mona South Africa. Women are equitably represented in government. Last year we achieved in our national cabinet 50-50 parity of ministers. 50% of ministers in my cabinet are women. 50% are men. This is the first time we have achieved this great milestone. And 47% of members of parliament are women. We are left with 3% before we reach that 50-50 parity. We continue to strive to ensure sufficient gender representation in key sectors such as the judiciary, the armed forces, and are actively engaging with the private sector to ensure women are better represented in positions of management. We have a raft of gender-responsive laws around reproductive health, sexual orientation, access to justice, customary law, protection against domestic and sexual violence. As our country reports notes, the nature of vulnerability that women face in 2019 is markedly different to the vulnerability faced by women in South Africa in 1994. Fellow South Africans, we must acknowledge that despite our progressive laws, vast discrepancies exist between the protection the law offers and the actual implementation. We must further acknowledge that violence against women and the stark reality that women continue to bear the brunt of poverty undermine our efforts to meet the commitments that were made in Beijing. But South Africa is not unique in this regard. The global consensus is that despite our progress, real change has been agonizingly slow for the majority of women and girls in the world. The sad reality is that today not a single country in the whole world can claim to have achieved complete gender equality. Women and girls continue to be undervalued. They work more and earn less and have fewer choices and experience multiple forms of violence at home and in public spaces. That is why providing women with the necessary support to enable them to become financially independent is critical. Not just because their economic inclusion is central to any country's development, but also because economic marginalization and economic dependency leaves women vulnerable to exploitation and abuse. This year, South Africa became the chair of the African Union. We aim to use our position as chair of the African Union to bring women into the mainstream of economic activity and to drive a concerted program of action to stamp out gender-based violence across the continent. Specific actions need to be taken. They need to be identified, and we hope to secure the cooperation of all member states of the African continent and to work in partnership with various organizations on the continent, civil society, labor, and the private sector. We are going to urge African Union member states to devote adequate budgetary allocations for women's empowerment so that they can set aside at least 30% of all government procurement for women-owned businesses. This for us is important. Muso ha o reka thipa kapa mesebetsi e itseng o etse hore bonyane karolo e lekanang le 30% ya ntho tseo tse ba di rekang, e ka ba thipa, e ka ba mesebetsi e tlameilweng hore e etswe hore mmuso o tswelle pele ka mesebetsi ya bona. Re 30% tjhe e belwe ka thoko, e fiwe bomme, e fiwe di-business tse kgannwang ke bomme, di-cooperatives tse kgannwang ke bomme, o etsetsa hore bomme ba fumane tsela ya ho ba mo economy ya naha ena ya rona. Ke molaetsa o re o isang dinaheng tsohle tsa Afrika. Re le a re le hona mono di-business tsa bomme di dumellwe hore di fumane di-loan, ba kgone ho ya dibankeng ba ile fumana di-loan hore ba qale di-business tsa bona, ba sebetse di-business tsa bona, ba di hodise ho etsetsa hore ba kgone ho fumana business ena e hlahang ho mmuso ya 30%. Re ho tlameile hore hape ho be le molao o tla etsang hore tjhelete eo e amohelwang ke bomme ha ba le mesebetsing e lekane le ya bontate. Hangata re fumana hore bomme ba fiwa tjhelete e tlase, ho bontate ba ntse ba etsa mosebetsi e tshwanang. Re ntho eno ha e fele, ho be le ntho ena e re bitsang hore equal pay for equal work, whether it is done by men or by women. We want to leverage the continent's ambitious plans towards the industrialization and digitization of the African continent under the African Continental Free Trade Area to benefit women. Honali tumelano yena, which we have arrived at on the African continent, which we call the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We would like the women of the continent and the women of South Africa to participate actively, to sell goods across the African continent, bomme ba etsang dintho e ka ba diaparo e ka ba ntho e nngwe le nngwe e le etsang re re nako e fihlile ya hore le bone Africa ena kaofela e le market wa lona ntho e nngwe le nngwe le etsang re batla ho bula ditsela tsa hore le rekise continenting ena kaofela haeba o etsa ntho e ka ba efeng kapa efeng mona tueleng mo re leng teng o kgone gore o ilo e rekisa Egepeta o kgone gore o e rekisa Nigeria o kgone o ilo e rekisa Ethiopia continent ena kaofela re batla gore e bulehe dintho tse le di etsang ka matsoho a lona e ka ba le di etsa mahaeng kapo le di etsa di-factoring tsa lona continent ena re a e bula re batla gore bomme ba rekise thepa ya bona continenting ena kaofela a se ntho e ntle yona eo bomme na In South Africa, we continue to work to broaden the participation of women in our economy. We are committed to this. We know that when you enable women to participate in an endeavor, and indeed in our case in the economy of our country, we will be getting a great benefit as we get more intellectual contribution, as we get more energy, as we get more commitment from the women of our country to participate. For far too long, the women of our country have been held back from meaningful participation in the economy of our country, and we say the time has now arrived for us as a country to open the doors of economic inclusion and participation for the women of South Africa to play their meaningful role in growing the economy of the Republic of South Africa. We have introduced the initiative which we call She Trades ZA, She Trades, as a platform to assist women-owned businesses to participate in global value chains and markets. Over the next 5 years, the Industrial Development Corporation has set a target of providing 10 billion rands of government and partner funding for women businesses. IDC go dilemo tsena tse tlhano tse tlang e tla ba e neelana ka thuso go di-business tsa bomme e lekanang le 10 ya di-bilione ya diranta go thusa bomme. To create larger markets for small businesses, we also plan to designate 1,000 locally produced products that must be bought from small medium enterprises. We are going to be presenting the procurement bill to Parliament as part of our efforts to empower black and emerging businesses and advance radical economic transformation. With respect to gender-based violence, we want to ensure that there is a concerted, visible and consistent global transformative advocacy campaign to prevent violence against women and children. We are advocating the adoption of an AU Convention on Violence Against Women. We are also promoting the repeal of discriminatory laws within 5 years and ensuring that laws relating to women are in line with all regional and global protocols and resolutions. As AU member states, we need to commit to implementing a whole number of initiatives that are going to lead to the empowerment of women. In South Africa, women and girls continue to be subjected to extreme levels of rape, sexual offenses, femicide, domestic violence, and intimate partner violence. Ntho e re utlwisang bohloko ko hore banna ba South Africa re tswella pele ka ho beta basadi, re tswella pele ka ho bolaya basadi, re tswelle pele re bolaye le bana ba banyana ba banyenyana. A recent case of 8-year-old Tasnie van Wyk, Cape Town, whose body was discovered in a storm drain, drives home the cold reality that women and children are dying daily at the hands of men known and unknown by the victim. The men of our country have declared war against the women and the girls of South Africa. And we are saying this must be brought to an end. The scourge of violence against women and children must come to an end. We are implementing an emergency response plan and have prioritized 1.6 billion rand to support it until the end of the current financial year. Working with partners in society, we are focusing on closing the legislative and other loopholes that result in perpetrators of gender-based violence being released where they offend. Re banna ba rapang, banna ba bolayang basadi le bana, ba tshwanetse ba tshwarwe, ha ba tshwarwa go ska ba le ntho ya hore ba tla fumana bail. Ha o kwaletswe go ska ba le monahano wa hore o tla fumana bail. Ha o bolaile motho wa mosadi le ngwana wa ngwanana, re batla hore o ye tjhankaneng bophelo ba hao kaofela, o ska tlhola o tswela ka ntle le ntho ena e re bitsang parole e ska ba ya fiwa motho o jwalo. Re tjho tjena ka hobane ona o bolaileng Tasnie van Wyk, ngwanana wa 8 years, o na neiwe parole, a ntshitswe ka parole. A re ha tswa mono a ba tswella pele le bokgopo bane a ntse a boetsa so kene tjhankaneng, a qetella a bolaile Tasnie van Wyk. Re re ntho eno ya hore parole e fiwe batho ba etsang ntho tse mpe tse tjena e fele, e ska tlhola e ba teng. On this International Women's Day, we would like to work together to ensure that the interests of women are mainstreamed, that their rights are protected and enforced, and that they are empowered to participate in economic life and have a share in our country's wealth and prosperity. We wish to see the women of our country being active players in our economy. We also wish our women to participate in decision-making structures throughout society, to play their role, to make their contribution. We want to see the women of our country being able to lead normal lives, being able to walk freely without any fear of being harmed or being raped or being killed as they go about their daily lives. The women of our country are fearful. Yesterday, I had occasion to be in dialogue with young women from across a number of spheres of life. And nearly each one of them were saying, we are fearful to walk about the streets of our country because we fear the men of South Africa, our fathers, our brothers, our uncles, because they have declared war against us. We're making a call to the men of our country that let us treat the women of our country with respect. Let us treat them with great consideration. Let us honor them. Let us protect the women of our country, and let us create an environment in which the women of South Africa, and indeed the women of the world, can lead their lives without fear, peacefully. And let us forge social cohesion where men and women are able to lead lives together on equal footing, knowing that none is more important than the other. I am told, or earlier today, there was another event where 1,000 young boys were brought together and they were interacting with various of our leaders. I am told that they told sad stories of absent fathers, sad stories of not even knowing who their fathers are, sad stories of, yes, being abused as well. And I call on the men of our country, fathers of the children of our country, be the fathers that our children would like to see in you. As a man and as a father, be there for your boy, so that we inculcate in our young men respect for women from an early age, so that they never ever fall into the culture or the habit of seeing women as inferior and seeing or thinking that they can have control on the women of South Africa. So today, I want to end by wishing all the women of South Africa, and indeed the women on our continent and the world, happy International Women's Day. I hope to once again see the women of our country in an occasion like this in August, when we will be celebrating our own South Africans Women's Day. Ke a leboha, ke motlotlo haholo, ke thabile haholo ho ba hare ha lona le le bomme ba setjhaba sa rona. Ke leboha haholo le ho ba hare ha bomme ba di-society ba etsang mesebetsi e metle ya ho isa setjhaba sena sa rona pele. Ke batla le dule le tseba hore mmuso wa South Africa o tsamaya le lona leeto lena la hore re ntlafatse maphelo a lona, re tla le tsamaya le lona. Le ska fela pelo, re tla etsa tsohle tsa hore bomme le basetsana ba naha ena ya rona ya Afrika ba phele bophelo bo feletseng. Ke a leboha. Thank you very much.
Le président Ramaphosa,
You're watching SABC News. That was President Cyril Ramaphosa there, just wrapping up his address at an International Women's Day event at the Tweeling Stadium in the Free State Province, while fighting the scourge of gender-based violence, forging ahead with equal pay for work of equal value, and increasing the meaningful participation of women in the economy were just some of the issues he highlighted this hour. The celebration, of course, being held under the theme of I Am Generation Equality. The president also earlier unveiled a plaque at the Walter Sisulu School for Women Leadership. He says this day is indeed an opportunity to assess how far we have come in achieving gender equality. The president also reiterated that there is parity in his national cabinet, with 50% of cabinet members being women. He also called on men in the country to step up, care for and protect the woman in their midst. On that note, it's time for me to say goodbye.